Hello and what is up, guys? My name is Maggie, you're watching Drone Bros, and welcome to 5 of the most badass Raider-themed weapons available on the Fallout 4 Nexus. In this video, we are going to be going over 5 of the most badass and most beautiful looking Raider weapons ever made for Fallout 4. As always, the majority of these mods have already been showcased by me in the past, however, some of the mods showcased have never before been uploaded onto this channel. So without further ado, I give you 5 of the most badass Raider mods available on the Fallout 4 Nexus. At number 5, we have the Wrench Sword by Gogar. Now, the Wrench Sword mod is a pretty simple, pretty straightforward mod, adding in only one brand new weapon into the Commonwealth, and that of course being the Wrench Sword. This is the exact type of weapon you'd expect to find in a post-apocalyptic scenario, especially considering that all of the parts required to make this weapon can be found throughout the wasteland, as well as it only requires a very small amount of skill to craft it, seeing as how it is literally a sharp blade on top of a wrench, fashioned to look like a handle. Now, even though this mod only got 16 endorsements, it is by far one of the better melee weapons I have found on the Fallout 4 Nexus. I mean, the textures and meshes seem to be pretty good, although they could use a little bit of work every now and again, and the implementation of the weapon is pretty spot on, considering the mod maker has added it to the level list and spawns throughout the Commonwealth on any Raider level 7 or higher. Ever since I found the Bumper Sword in a previous Fallout game, I was a massive fan of improvised weaponry. Now, while the Wrench Sword might not be nearly as badass as the Bumper Sword, it is definitely a step in the right direction. And much like with the Bumper Sword, I'd imagine the night this weapon was created started somewhere along the lines of this. And ended something like this. Now, unfortunately, the weapon itself is not customizable in any way, shape nor form, which is honestly quite a shame, because I could easily see myself attaching barbed wire, a stun pack, or maybe even a slightly more efficient handle to a weapon such as this. Now, believe it or not, but someone's weapon of choice can really tell a lot about a person. For example, that one might say, I am an alcoholic, I built my own furniture, and you should probably keep your kids away from me. And this is the exact type of weapon that just screams, hey there, I'm handy around the house, and I even built my very own lakeside cabin, at which I slaughtered a whole bunch of horny teenagers, but guess what, I looked sporty as fuck while doing it. And yeah, you should definitely keep your kids away from that guy, because
he lives on the moon?
I tried so hard and got so far.
At number 4, we have the Standalone Pipe Shotgun by Metza Human and Stefan Engdahl. Have you ever been let down by your inadequate, tiny pipe pistol? Ever tried to get with a woman and it just kinda went all limp and didn't work? Then you might want to trade it in for something a little bit bigger, better, and a whole lot girthier. I give you the Standalone Pipe Shotgun. Now, the Standalone Pipe Shotgun mod is a pretty straightforward mod, adding in exactly what the name implies, and that being a pipe made to function like a shotgun. Now, this mod is very similar to the pipe weaponry in terms of lore, but in terms of aesthetics and damage dealing capabilities, it by far surpasses each and every single one of the pipe weapons in vanilla Fallout 4. For the most part, the pipe shotgun is a simply made Raider wasteland weapon, capable of delivering a pretty large and powerful blast, completely fitting of a girthy boy the size of this one. Now personally, I am sick and tired of men flaunting around their tiny, shrunken, frail pipe pistols around town. I mean, let's face it, you're not a real man if you ain't got something as big as this stuffed down your pants, giving a whole new meaning to the phrase laying pipe. Now, this weapon can actually be found throughout the wasteland, seeing as how it has been added to the leveled list, and spawns on any and every single raider you will come across. I mean, this weapon is really common. I think 1 out of 5 raiders should come charging at you with this bad boy, as well as it can be bought off of most of the Wasteland's merchants. Now, in terms of customization, you can't really customize this weapon all that much, seeing as how it is literally just a fucking pipe. You can change out the stock and add a muzzle or a bayonet, but that is pretty much it. Even though this weapon is meant to go hand in hand with the pipe weaponry in vanilla Fallout 4, I think in terms of aesthetics, it is far superior. I mean, for one thing, the meshes and textures are far better, and it's not completely fucking rusted, meaning I have a smaller chance of getting a septic infection when handling this thick boy. Now, in terms of damage dealing capabilities, this is by far one of the most powerful modded weapons I have come across. That being said, it does come with a horrific downside. You can only shoot it once per 5, maybe even 10 seconds, seeing as how you have to reload after every single shot, making it not exactly the ideal weapon to handle a group of feral geriatrics, but making it a pretty safe bet when you are going up against single target enemies such as Rabbit, the local nudist. I have no idea why he's named that way. It's supposed to be an actual red rabbit. I have no idea what the fuck happened. Coming up next, at number 3, we have the infamous Militia Rifle by Rob Palmer. Now, this next little number right here adds in an incredible looking custom assault rifle into the Commonwealth that should fit right into a post-apocalyptic wasteland. So if you enjoy improvised guns, outstandingly well-made weapons, and
The Trash Man!
then I highly recommend checking out this mod. Now, the Militia Rifle adds in a custom, salvage-made weapon into the Commonwealth that should provide you with an interesting alternative to the pipe weaponry found through all out wasteland. The weapon itself comes packed with custom-made meshes, textures, and even animations. And as far as the quality is concerned, for better or for worse, it is a very Bethesda-like quality, meaning it should fit right in with other vanilla weapons. Now, a gun such as this does not only provide you with a bit more variety when it comes to raider weapons, but also provides you with an answer to the age-old question: what would it look like if Fallout 4's assault rifle was developed by homeless people? If this weapon does not remind you of a raider scratch-made weapon yet, then just wait until you take it into the weaponsmith workbench, since all of the modification capabilities for this weapon have been heavily themed after pipe weaponry, meaning you can turn it from a simple pistol to a long-ranged sniper rifle and just about anything in between. You can change out the ammunition type, or switch between firing modes, and even add a whole bunch of other miscellaneous modifiers all over your weapon. The weapon itself has been added to the leveled list, meaning it spawns through all out the Commonwealth and can be found on every and any single raider you come across, much like drug abuse, STDs and poor hygiene, just like Florida. Now, when it comes to raider weaponry, Fallout 4 can be quite lacking, and that is why mods such as this are a much needed commodity. Even if you don't plan on going with a raider type character build, it is always nice to see just a bit of variety when it comes to the weapons wielded by the most commonly found scum of the Commonwealth. And when it comes to combat capabilities, this gun can be a fucking beast. When fully upgraded in automatic mode, it absolutely shreds through your enemies, turning them into a puddle of bodily fluids and lumpy, disproportionate body parts, just like acclaimed actor Danny DeVito.
This is ground control to Magnum Dom. You've really made the grade. And the papers want to know whose shirt you wear.
Nearing the end here, at number 2, we have the Crude Blowback by SXS. Now you might actually remember this next little weapon from the Bundle of Blue Tape mod, which I showcased not too long ago. However, if you missed that video, the Crude Blowback essentially adds in a beautifully made, custom raider-themed assault rifle into the Commonwealth. The weapon itself has been added to the leveled list, meaning it spawns throughout the Commonwealth on any and every single raider you could come across, providing even more diversity when it comes to raider weapons. Because, let's face it, if I really wanted to see a whole bunch of dudes running around with guns and copper piping, I would just visit Detroit. Now, as far as weapon augmentation is concerned, this weapon is incredibly similar to pipe weaponry, meaning you can customize each and every single fidget and whatchamajigger on this weapon, turning it from a semi-automatic handgun into a fully automatic rifle. And the weapon itself even comes packed with high-resolution textures, incredible looking meshes, custom animations, custom sounds, and by far one of the most beautiful looking designs for a raider-themed gun I have ever seen. Now, I ain't no science fella myself, and personally, I don't believe in global warming and think Isaac Newton is a fucking cunt for inventing gravity. So I wouldn't be able to tell you if a weapon like this could function in real life. But whether or not the design of this weapon is a crock of bullshit, it still looks incredibly badass and is utterly breathtaking. And last but not least, we have the Beretta 92 FS Sword Cutlass by Bloodfree. Now, even though this weapon does not look like it was handmade from scraps found in a wasteland, it is definitely badass enough for a raider to be carrying this around, and almost certainly resembles something a raider boss might use. After over 6 months of being in development, one of the most anticipated weapon mods is finally made available on the Fallout 4 Nexus. So if you enjoy pirate/raider themed weapons, apparent product placement, or just an outrageous amount of attention to details, then this might very well be the mod for you. Now, the Beretta 92 FS Sword Cutlass mod adds in a brand new, incredibly made handgun into the Commonwealth, heavily themed after the Beretta Sword Cutlass handgun, or in fact a almost exact recreation of the two handguns found in that famous Chinese sitcom Black Lagoon.
Stop trying to suck your own dicks, you ain't never gonna fucking reach. I've tried.
Now, the weapon itself is actually quite well made, coming with its very own unique textures, meshes, and a downright outrageous design. Seeing as how this is a very unique weapon and stands out from the crowd quite a fair bit, it only makes sense to have but one per game. So you won't find this weapon on any leveled list, chest, raider nor vendor, but you can actually find it in a footlocker just outside of Vault 111 in between two cars. This is by far one of the greatest weapon mods I have ever seen made for Fallout 4. Be that because of the backstory, the insanely cool looking design, or just the sheer amount of details the mod maker has put into making this weapon. I mean, just look at those textures, meshes, and those beautiful fucking animations. When playing with a weapon like this, you can bet your ass those two hands won't only be holding my penis, when playing with a weapon like this, you can bet your ass those two hands won't only be holding this weapon, because the other one's gonna be gripping my... You know what? Forget it! Never mind, fuck it! Forget it! Never mind! Unfortunately, when it comes to customization, this gun can be quite lacking. You can augment the weapon to some extent, but only stats-wise. You cannot modify the aesthetic of the weapon in any way, shape or form. Which is honestly quite a shame, especially taking into account the overall quality of the weapon. I'm quite confident the mod maker would be able to pull off some interesting and quite insane looking modifiers truly deserving to be on a gun as badass as this. And as far as combat is concerned, this baby can pack quite a punch, especially if you have the correct modifications and special talents in order to wield it. So just grab a couple of these guns, venture into the Commonwealth, and go shoot some fucking Nazis on a boat or something.
I'm actually not a Nazi, all I did was vote for Trump.
for some odd reason you actually enjoyed watching this video and would like to watch more, then subscribe to the channel. As always, my name is Nagi, you've been watching Trollin' Bros. Until next time guys, I'll see ya!